Georgia might be the most closely contested swing state in the entire country these days. It went for Biden by just over 11,000 votes. Of course, it gave Democrats their narrow majority in the Senate in January 2021. At the state level, however, it is dominated entirely by Republicans, which means it also passed a ban on abortion after 6 weeks before most people even know they are pregnant. And that ban was signed by Republican Governor Brian Kemp back in 2019. Now, the law was initially struck down by a federal court because it's flatly unconstitutional. It's not currently in effect, but it's now in the hands of the appeals court, which put the matter on hold until a decision comes down from the Supreme Court about Roe v. Wade. So if the high court overturns Roe, which it appears it is poised to do, Georgia's abortion ban will go into effect immediately, joining over a dozen other states with trigger laws or bans already on the books. Because of all that, the high stakes in this gubernatorial race are now monumentally higher. If Kemp wins his primary later this month, he will face off in the fall against Stacey Abrams, who narrowly lost to Kemp back in 2018. And joining me now is Stacey Abrams, a Democrat from Georgia and a candidate for governor. It's good to have you on the program. Let's start with, obviously, the huge cataclysmic news and the direct effect it will have on the voters of Georgia in this election. What is the difference between you and your Republican opponent, whether it's Perdue or Kemp, on that law that the Georgia legislature has passed?
Georgia in 2019, as you pointed out, passed a forced pregnancy bill, a ban on all abortions after 6 weeks with very limited exceptions. And what that ban reveals is their intention going forward. If they are willing to limit it at 6 weeks now, if they see trigger laws that allow for unilateral ban, I have no doubt they will try to pursue that. And so it is critical that we not only elect me as the next governor of Georgia, but that we use this opportunity to elect a state house and a state senate that will let us roll back these egregious laws. Regardless of what happens with this decision, the leaked opinion or not, we know what the intention is. Brian Kemp has been unequivocal about his position, as has David Perdue, and our responsibility is to do what we can to protect a woman's right to choose, to protect the ability to make choices about our dignity, our welfare, and our health. And this is the moment to get that work done.
Just to be clear, I mean, what I hear from you is you oppose that legislation and you would seek to repeal it were it to become law under a decision striking down Roe.
Absolutely. During my tenure in the legislature, I helped defeat HB 1155, which was a bill that attempted to use eugenics as a justification for disallowing abortion. I fought against the 20-week ban and helped keep it tied up in court for 6 years. Unfortunately, after I left the legislature, Brian Kemp, upon becoming governor, passed this terrible 6-week ban. But I'm unequivocal. I believe in the right to an abortion. And this is something I came to over many years. I grew up in the Deep South in a religious community where the question of abortion was almost unequivocally no. But it took my exposure to a broader set of conversations, including to a friend, a dear friend in Mississippi who had to make a tough choice without the support she needed, without support from me, for me to start to think about what does that mean. I think Rebecca pointed it out earlier, Rebecca Traister, that you may not choose abortion for yourself, but almost a majority of Americans believe that you should have the right to make that decision. This is not a conversation for politicians. This is a conversation between a doctor and a pregnant person, a pregnant woman, to have the conversation with her doctor and her family about what makes sense. I don't even say I evolved. I call myself a converted. And I come to this with the zeal of the converted because I understand the concerns that people have. But Martin Luther King Jr. once said that he cannot segregate his moral concerns. You cannot believe that it is okay to steal the ability of women to have bodily autonomy and say that you believe in human and civil rights. I cannot do that. And as governor, I will not do that.
That's a very forthright answer, and it's striking to me the context you're in. I mean, obviously, like I said, Georgia is a really, really tight state, right? It's obviously a very closely balanced state. And what I'm hearing from you is that, like, this is your substantive belief. You also don't think this is the kind of thing that you need to whisper or, be squirrely about.
No, you cannot take equivocal positions on things of moral certainty. And the moral certainty is that we are talking about women's lives. This is not a conversation to be had on a debate stage. This is the responsibility we have as Americans to defend this right and to make certain that this is not a right that is dependent upon your zip code. Geography should not determine the quality of your humanity. And that is why today we suspended temporarily our fundraising to make sure we were directing resources to 5 organizations. We want those who still need those services right now to have those services. And so I encourage people to go to StaceyAbrams.com/row so you can contribute to those organizations that are providing these services. I was unequivocal in 2018. I've been a staunch advocate and support. I've been in support because I know what this means. Because I've talked to women who have made these choices. I've had staffers who've had to make difficult calls. And there has never been a moment where it was right for me as a state legislator or even hopefully as governor to tell someone that I know better than they do and than their doctor does.
All right, Stacey Abrams, who is running for governor in the state of Georgia, thank you so much for your time tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.